Hey, Victor here with you, and we still doing a lot of interviews here, and now we are in the Artist Alley, and we're going to be interviewing a few of the artists here at the show. And right now I am with Jeff Clarke. How you doing today, Jeff?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. And we understand as the interview is going, we'll be seeing some of Jeff's artwork below in a little screen there. So I just wanted to say that we stopped by and looked around and stuff like that, and you have a lot of interesting work. What are your influences?
I guess my biggest influence would probably be the Renaissance painters, but as far as modern artists go, the Hildebrandt brothers, Greg and Tim Hildebrandt, were pretty influential early on in my life. Dave Dorman's another big influence to me. Drew Struzan, a lot of the Star Wars artists, I would think Drew Struzan, when I first saw his artwork that he did for the Star Wars movies, I think that really made me want to pursue art as a possible career in life. Seeing that for the first time when I was really small. So since then I've been drawing, cartooning, doing a little bit of everything, graphic design.
Okay, so and you've been doing this since you were a child, right?
I'd say 8 or 9 years old. 8 years old, I think I drew my first Garfield. Jim Davis, I guess. So I drew my first Garfield drawing when I was about 8 years old.
Oh, okay. I actually got in trouble for drawing and sketching in school and getting.
Yeah. Although my grandmother actually has a piece of art that I did when I was 3. So she just recently shared that with me, and I was like, oh, look at that. All right, it wasn't too bad.
For being 3.
For being 3, yeah.
There you go. Now I see most of your work is in black and white.
Yes.
And so is that your favorite medium to work with? Would be pen and ink, or?
Pen and ink is probably the easiest form to work in for me. Although there's a lot of the art, I think, in general, is based on value. So you have your blacks and whites is really what the crux of any good piece of artwork is seeing the value of the blacks and whites.
Tells the story much better when it's...
So I think working in this medium has definitely honed my skills for figuring out where light and shadow fall. But I do have a lot of color artwork that I like to do as well.
Yeah, matter of fact, I see we'll be seeing pieces of it, so I won't mention that. But
sure.
Is it what building is this in here that we'll be seeing?
That building there is just a piece of photography that I found in an architectural magazine, and I thought it had really interesting perspective, so I used that as a value study for marker rendering. Okay,
well, very, very nice. Also, the other piece that it's almost color. It has a little bit of color in it and stuff, but it's mostly a black and white piece.
Yes.
Is the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, which we'll be seeing here shortly in the montage below. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, that one is inspired by Greg and Tim Hildebrandt. They, a few years ago, I'm not sure how long ago, but they did a series of paintings for The Wizard of Oz, and their design of the Tin Man really struck a chord with me, and so I took that as an inspiration to do this scratchboard piece with as ink colored in a white space. Okay.
Now, for people who are watching the show and don't understand what that term means, what is scratchboard?
Scratchboard is basically a piece of black board, and you have tools that are like little razor blades, I guess the best way I can describe it, and you scratch the white space into the drawing. So it's kind of working in reverse.
Almost sculpting out the piece that you're wanting to do. Okay.
So it's working in reverse. Instead of using a white sheet and
like
putting
making
down
a negative.
Ink, you're drawing out the highlights.
Okay, so that's cool, because I know a lot of people are going to be watching the show and go,
Right.
But it's very, very, and
it's a very labor-intensive process, but it's probably the most rewarding. It gives the most rewarding work, in my opinion. So.
Okay. And we were talking a little earlier as well that as far as your published works and things, you've had the sketch card done, which is basically for this show purposely to tell a little bit about yourself, and gives you an address and things like that. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well, because you do have an address that people can get a hold of you if they're interested in seeing more of your work and such. You also, for this particular show, you did the design for the entire interior. All the page layouts for the book, and we have the book over here. You also helped design the cover,
Well, no, actually, Leah Mank, who you talked to
Yes.
shortly, she designed the cover, and what I did was I did all the interior graphic design work on the inside.
Okay.
So all of the different layouts, page layouts, that's what I did for this show.
Okay. And then we saw some of the drawings that you did earlier also were religious in nature,
right?
And so you were telling me that a lot of them have been published in your local church publications and stuff like that.
Right.
How did that come to be?
It was just one of those things where I was working. We were going to church. My family and I were going to church, and the bulletin covers were pretty much the same every week. And I thought, well, what if someone did some art for the cover? And so I went to the pastor and I said, what do you think of this idea? I said, I wouldn't charge you anything. I mean, it's for church after all. So,
okay. Right.
And it just turned out to be a multi-month project where I would receive the readings ahead of time of what was going to be in that week's service, and it just snowballed from there. Yeah, and it just snowballed from there. So.
Okay, well that's very cool. A lot of the pieces here are very, very nice, and I mean you have different styles. Because you use like stippling and in some, and you have like your stark, total black and whites, and you do brush strokes and others and stuff. So you have a lot of wide different mediums that you work with.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's very nice. You also have designed some sketch cards of like Star Wars characters and things like that, and so you have a whole lot of different things going for you. And that's very, very nice.
Thank you.
What is there like a certain piece that you really want to do, that you've been thinking, well, this is a character or a person or something I want to do?
I guess not really. I mean, really, the sketch cards I did specifically for this show to kind of get my feet wet into that medium, because sketch card art, I think, is going to be that's going to be where people go to get accessible artwork, and that's where I think the industry is going.
It's a good base to get into.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to get into. So, I mean, I did probably 4 things there that I had never done before that I always wanted to do, like a Darth Maul piece and a Gollum and a Harry Potter. And I think I really enjoy doing film renditions, so I think going into that, doing more of that, I think would be a lot of fun.
Okay. Yeah. Now, for people who are watching this episode of our show and stuff, if they like what they see, you said you did have a space you can go to.
Right. There's a website called myartspace.com. It's kind of like a MySpace for artists. It's a New York-based company, and they offer space for artists to show their work. So there is a gallery of all my work there. And it gets updated all the time.
Okay, is the piece that you did when you were 3 years old on that website?
No, but a piece that I did when I was 10 years old is on there.
Okay, all right. Well, we got to get that 3-year-old piece up there. We got to get that up there so people can see it. But anyways, now, is there like a certain address you have to type in when you go to the My Art Space?
You just do a search for Jeffrey Clarke, and that's...
Jeffrey Clarke.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the best way to do it. There's a very long HTML, but it's complicated.
Okay. That's all right. That's all right. As long as they can access the site and access your name, and it'll come up, then they can get to you and figure all that out on their own.
That's right.
Because our viewers are smart. I just want to say that, and I mean that. So, but anyways, Jeff, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being on the show with us, and check it out on myartspace.com. And we've got a lot more coming.